Okay, a bond is a little bit different from a note payable. Bond payable is a little different from a note payable in that it allows people to borrow money from multiple sources. Okay, bonds are sold over the market. Okay, they're sold over the counter. I guess I should say that. They're sold over the counter in increments of $1,000, usually. Right, and sometimes we refer to it as face value, and face value is really the principal amount. Okay, it will also have a stated interest rate. This is the contract rate. And it's the amount of interest that is paid to bondholders. Okay, it's the interest rate that's paid to bondholders. So notice down here you've got face value, maturity value, principal amount, par value. Those are all basically the same things, all right? They tend to call it face value with respect to bonds for some reason, but anyway. The stated interest rate determines the amount of cash interest the borrower pays and the investor receives. Okay, it's also called the face rate, the coupon rate, the nominal rate. I tend to call it the contract rate, but it's the amount of interest that's going to be paid usually every 6 months. It's usually paid semi-annually. Okay. It comes with a certificate. All right, there are different types of bonds. So there are several types of bonds. A term bond matures all at the same time. A serial bond means that they mature in increments. So if I have $1 million bond issue, I might say $500,000 matures 1 year and $500,000 matures the next year. Okay, but it matures in increments or at regular intervals. And that one sometimes the company selling the bonds likes that because they don't have to have all the money at one time to pay the bonds back. A secured bond is backed up by assets. All right, if the bondholder if the borrower doesn't pay, the bondholder can take the assets. This is kind of like your car. If you don't make the payments on your car, then they can come get your car. A debenture bond is unsecured. All right, so bonds sorry about that. So bonds can be issued at face value, a discount, or a premium. And the amount that they're issued for depends on the contract rate versus the market rate, right? The contract rate is what's stated in the bond issue. The market rate is the amount of interest that bondholders desire, okay? We will only cover bonds issued at face value. So this is how it might be stated in the paper, how the bond is selling. These numbers right here, the 79.5, the 78.45, and the 79.5, those are percentages of face value. So this bond is selling at a discount. It's selling for less than face value. Bonds that sell at face value are selling at 100. Oh, what just happened to my... Are selling at 100. All right, and that means 100% of face value. Means 100% of face value. Right, if they sell for less than 100, then that means they're selling at a discount. If they sell for more than 100, that means they're selling at a premium. Remember that this is always a percentage of face value. All right, we're not gonna like do all this type of stuff. We're gonna just do the basic journal entries. So let's find. Okay, so here's our example. SmartTouch issued 100,000 of 9% 5-year bonds. Interest is paid semi-annually on June 30th and December 31st. All right, so when they issued the bonds on January 1st of 2016, they received cash of 100,000, and they're going to have bond payable for 100,000, and they were issued at face value. Issued at face value. Okay, then the first interest payment on June 30th of 2016, they're going to have interest expense and cash going out the door. And it's going to be the face amount of the bond, $100,000, times the interest rate, times 6 over 12 months, because half a year has gone by. So the face amount times the stated interest rate times 6 over 12 months. And they'll pay interest again at December 31st, and it will be the exact same entry. Since the bonds were issued at face value, it's just going to be the exact same thing. Okay, and then we're not doing discounts or premiums. So that is it for bonds for us. And I think that's actually it for the chapter. Oh, well, and when the bonds are paid at maturity, when bonds mature, it's just bond payable and cash for the 100,000, or for the face amount. And that's it. Okay, we're not doing bonds maturing early. All you need to know is the entry for when the bonds are paid at maturity. Okay. And then just remember that long-term liabilities are separated from current liabilities on the balance sheet. But if there's a piece of it that's due within the next year, it would be moved up to the current side. Okay, so we've got here just an example. They have all their current liabilities, and then here are their long-term liabilities. They have a note, they have the mortgage, they have the bond. In this case, this one has a discount, so they subtracted it out, the discount, but then those are added up to get their long-term liabilities. And that is it.